literature or books or anything scripture from her time. So it's basically oral tradition, oral legend, so to say. And even also her songs were not written down, or at least there are no surviving manuscripts or something by her. So everything is only orally, um, and only orally from one generation to the next. Time, so it's basic. Oh, okay. But yeah, so of course we have Srila Prabhupada as a source, and so I checked what he said about Mirabai, and right, so he didn't actually tell like a life story, at least in the conversation that I could find here. Um, um, but yeah, so let's look at this first, and then I will tell a bit about the general life story, and then maybe also a bit about the poisoning. But as I said, I couldn't uncover a lot. Maybe it's also because I, of course, only had access to the English language. But yeah, all right. So so I have a couple of conversations or also lectures, morning walk, where Prabhupada mentioned, so where he himself mentioned the name of Mirabai or Mira. There's some other conversations where other people mention it, but I just always checked where Prabhupada himself mentioned the name. So first one here is in a conversation with Allen Ginsberg, who is of course well known by himself and is like, and I think in this regard also Srila Prabhupada brought it up or talked a bit more about her. And so um, yeah, okay. So Prabhupada says basically here that she is very popular. Her songs are very popular, and that she was a contemporary of actually Rupa Goswami, and even met him, right? So later on, he will go a little bit more into this story. So, of course, if she's a contemporary of Rupa Goswami, then also of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which Prabhupada also then confirms here. But then also again, if she met him personally, he says like, no, didn't personally met him, but there seem to be some poetry, some songs where she refers to him, right? So, for example, here, right? Now you have left aside your flute, you've taken the sannyas rod, or here your hair and peacock feather is it. Now you are bald-headed. So Mira appreciated it, right? So she definitely could see, okay, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. Um,
Can we
right.
read?
So,
Can we read
huh?
whole?
Do you want to read the full thing?
Yeah, yeah. That's
Okay,
from Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada's statements are like mantra, no? Vedic mantra,
exactly.
their own power.
Um, should we then start the first time? So,
Yeah.
okay, Prabhupada says here. So maybe start with here. So Allen Ginsberg asks, he's interested in, have you used her songs at all, Mira songs at all in the movement and or personally? Prabhupada says like, yes, in India it is very popular, Mira's song. Mostly they are written in Hindi, and some of them have been interpolated. But Mira was a devotee. She saw Rupa Goswami, a contemporary. She has written many poetry about Lord Chaitanya. Allen Ginsberg. Oh, she was a contemporary of Chaitanya. Prabhupada? Yes. Allen Ginsberg, did they meet? Prabhupada? Oh, come on here. Prabhupada? No. She appreciated that Lord Chaitanya is Krishna, and she has written one poetry song. That now you have left aside your flute and you have taken the sannyasi rod. In that way, she has written nice poetry. And where is your hair and peacock feather? Now you are bald-headed. In this way. So Mira appreciated. Her life is also very excellent. Her father gave her a small Krishna doll to play, and she developed love for Krishna as husband. So when she was married, she was a princess, daughter of king, and she was married with another prince. So that's it, you know. Then yeah, they speak about another uh, person in India. So that's from this part.
The Prabhupada says she's a pure devotee, basically, a Vaishnava.
She's a Vaishnava. I mean, yeah, he's a devotee. Yeah, he says yeah, she's a devotee. Was a devotee. Okay, let's because otherwise maybe it gets too long. Let's go to the next one. So that's all, you know. So every tab is um, so it's the timeline part of the timeline. So let me search here. Let's see again. What was that? Ah, that was a letter. Okay, that was the letter. Yeah, here's actually not much written about her. So someone probably asks, a devotee asks Prabhupada if he can use or she use Mirabai's song. And Prabhupada just says, I have no objection for Mirabai's songs, but I think Hare Krishna is the greatest common factor understandable by all people all over the world. The chanting is transcendental and quickly effective.
Mhm.
Right, just underlining the point that yeah, our main concern should be the chanting of the Maha Mantra. Here we go. That's a lecture. Ah, yeah, that was interesting. So that gives a little bit more insight into um, when Mirabai uh, met Rupa Goswami. So Prabhupada says here, let's start from here. Similarly, Prakriti. Justice is an example. Here, either man or woman, everyone is Prakriti. The real Purusha is Krishna. And there's a nice example. When Rupa Goswami was there in Vrindavan in his bhajana, Mirabai went to see him. And Rupa Goswami's message was that he does not see any woman. They were very strict. At least the story is like. So Mira challenged that I came to Vrindavan. I know that only Krishna is Purusha here and everyone is woman. So how does it mean that Rupa Goswami declined to see another woman?
Mhm.
So Rupa Goswami agreed. Yes, I'm mistaken. Yes, Krishna is only Purusha. Um, and then later on he will. I mean, he didn't specifically say here then what then happened, right? But obviously they met at some point, briefly, or
Srila Prabhupada says in the first one where he says she met Rupa Goswami.
true. Right, right. Uh, went to yeah, right, right. He said this in the conversation with Ellen Ginsberg, exactly.
My
So,
brother, sorry, can I interject quickly something here, just to let you know, technical information. Christopher Prabhuji, we hear you
yes,
very, very clearly and very loudly. But Nimai Prabhu, when you speak, the volume is about 50% down.
Okay.
yeah, that's probably because I use a headset, and then maybe
How
I
about
can.
now?
A little bit better, but still not as clear as. So maybe Christopher can guide us all to get better sound.
Yeah, I
Okay,
mean, you need to wear headsets, you know. Um, okay,
that's
thanks.
later. Technical stuff. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Here only is a little room conversation again where someone um, mentions Mirabai and Prabhupada just confirms, yes, she was a devotee. Right, so just skip that.
Oh, why don't we read what Srila Prabhupada right says?
Okay, fine. Because maybe there's some other presentation, so I just wanted to save some time. Okay, but
Quickly we can keep reading.
mhm. Um, yeah, so someone else mentions uh, So Satish Kumar mentions, yeah, you think Mirabai was a Bhaktini? Prabhupada, yes, he was a devotee. She was a devotee. Satish Kumar, yes, she had this quality of presence. Prabhupada, oh yes. Um, I mean, we can go further. Uh, Satish Kumar, yes, direct dialogue. Prabhupada, oh yes, otherwise how she could tell the king, no, you are not husband. I have got already my husband Giridhari. Satish Kumar, yes. And the king sent the poison. Ah, and she drank it. Oh, good that we actually read this. There's some Prabhupada. Yes, I think that you people, you can understand this philosophy very nicely and do good on the people. What is the name of your paper? Okay, and then they go on. So Prabhupada didn't really um, confirm here or speak about the aspect of the poison. So
He just confirmed that she drank it. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Is there anything after that?
you
Else?
no, 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 I don't think so.
Wait. Prabhupada didn't confirm that she drank it.
Yeah, I mean that could be right. I
He's
also
just saying
said
yes,
it
that
could be.
your newspaper is good for spreading the word. He's not saying yes to the poison.
Well, the
Yeah,
thing
I
is,
mean no. I mean Nimai Prabhu is right in the sense like so right. And the king sent the poison. And she drank it. Prabhupada's, of course, the next word is yes. Of course, we would need to listen into the conversation. Maybe he just say yes as part of a conversation. Just doesn't
Exactly.
doesn't necessarily confirm that. I would also think like, okay, you would need to really hear the mood of the word yes in this regard. What kind of so. But yeah,
yes,
actually, I miss that actually when I saw the first time that I see that they actually bring up the poison here. It's a good.
can we go to the next one? See if there's a
Hmm.
controversy whether she took poison or not, then we can hear the lecture. Okay.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know if that's possible, to stream it for everyone here. Um, right. In this part also, basically it is about dedication to Krishna just already starting from childhood, and then Mirabai is given as an example of that as well. So it's about Parikshit Maharaj first. He was a devotee of Lord Krishna from the very beginning because Pandava family, they were all Krishna's devotees. So Parikshit Maharaj also was a devotee from his childhood. He was worshipping the deity of Krishna. That was his plaything. Just like Mirabai had Krishnamurti. So those who are born devotees, the inclination is that is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. So yeah, but that's also
Shri-
it's also not too much
From the
here.
he's just like he's saying she just like Parikshit Maharaj devotee from before.
Yeah, just from childhood, that's the point here. Or I don't see.
Because of the verse Shuchinam Shrimatam
Yeah,
Geha.
so the devotees from the childhood they can get chance of worshiping Krishna. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Um, so here Prabhupada in this morning walk, Prabhupada gives a bit more detail again about the meeting between Mirabai and Rupa Goswami. So Dr. Patel writes, or says, one Goswami refused to see Mirabai, and then she said that there only be men at the bhajana, not that Krishna is the only man. Prabhupada. One thing is we don't find any. Here's a good point. We don't find any authoritative scripture that Mirabai ever met that Mirabai ever met Rupa Goswami. But they say like that in Vrindavan. But from the life of Rupa Goswami, we understand that the Goswamis were so popular in Vrindavan that if there was any family quarrel, husband and wife, they used to come to Rupa Goswami to settle up. And automatically he would give the decision and they will accept. So how it is possible that he did not see any woman?
Mhm.
Um, right.
Yeah.
But the
Makes
main point here was so in general, right? So no authoritative scripture. So it's also like oral tradition.
okay.
And here, right? So then here was a question about the guru of Mirabai. So Kartikeya, Prabhupada, Jiva Goswami was a guru of Mira. Prabhupada, no. I don't know who is the guru of Mirabai, but Mirabai from the childhood, she was a devotee. She was a Kartikeya, she was a devotee, but Prabhupada, but I do not hear anyone as your guru. So that's basically the the times where Prabhupada mentions her name, at least from what we can see, yeah, here recorded in the database or in the online database. So then, in general, so do you think should I go more now into, because already so much time went, should I go more into her story according to
Just the poison thing, if you
the
can
poison thing,
briefly.
right? So for the poison thing, the main, because sometimes it's also said that um that actually her in-laws tried to kill her multiple times as well, right? So that they sent a basket with a snake, and then actually there are different versions. One time, the snakes turned into a moti, Krishna moti, and another time it said that it turned into a flower garland. So there are different legends, so to say. But so in this paper here, which actually also have the title Poison to Nectar. I don't know who these people are, what kind of lineage they follow or something. But so in her songs or in the songs, it's she mentions actually, let's go to one. She mentions actually a couple times that Rana, her father-in-law, actually sent the the poison in a cup, um, and that she just drank it and nothing happened to her. Right. Sometimes it's also said, orally again, not here. So that basically that's the only, mm, yeah. I mean, it's not scripture, right? But the only direct evidence that I found that she was poisoned, it's when she just sings it over and over again, or in different versions of the same song. So another version, it's always Rana sent me a cup of poison. I swallowed it without a thought. Right, first one was Rana sent a cup of poison. I drank it and stayed ecstatic.
Mhm.
Right, it's always in this connection. Always Rana. Rana took a cup of poison. Find Mira, he said, and give it to her. She drank it like Shanamrita, singing the praises of Govinda. Right. Sometimes also it's said, not here in the songs, but that actually they sent prasadam and said it was, or sent something and said it was prasadam, something to eat, and again, nothing happened. Right. So, but anything else? I mean, yeah.
is one conversation. Um, can I show?
Mm-hmm.
This is from sometime in November. I don't know which date it is, but goes on. It's a Hindi. Kaviraj is talking,
Mm-hmm.
and saying, कविराज in Hindi says बस, that's it. हरिनाम के सामने वो मीरा को जितना पॉइजन दिया था, he's saying in front of Harinam, वो how much poison was given to Meera, one drop could kill a person. वो सब पी गया. She drank everything. Just see. वो बताइए, just see. So basically, one drop could kill Meera, but she drank the whole cup. And just see what happens. So जो भगवान के प्रसाद लग जाता ना, वो poison अमृत हो जाता. This Kaviraj is saying, it's Vrindavan Kaviraj, that whatever given to Bhagwan, it's prasad, it becomes amrit instead of the poison. Oh, it's right here. Sorry. Drank it all. Explain that when one is feeling God's mercy, that poison becomes not feeling, it's prasad. It's like what is offered to God. But anyway. Devotee Prahlad Maharaj, Bhakti Charu Prahlad Maharaj, Kaviraj Prahlad, Halal gave Meera a poison, stronger dose of poison than Prahlad got. It was so strongly made. Like there is one poison in allopathy. Till today, no one has been able to. Anyway, so that's cyanide. So that's all there is.
Hmm. Right. Yeah, I don't think that's they're not on the online database. Interesting. Um, but then also Prabhupada himself didn't mention the name here. But yeah, in connection to it, yeah.
Okay, so it's we understand she was at least she was from devotee from childhood, and she was her songs. He says they have no objection, but better to chant Hare Krishna. So I mean, in Vrindavan they chant her songs everywhere, and Govind Dev Ji they chant her songs, and in the Rup Goswami temple in Jaipur. Um, in Udaipur, where the Rana, where all these were written, the Rana, Udaipur, that's where I grew up. The deities she's showing,
Mhm.
Jagdish temple, it's there in the center of Udaipur. So they all sing her songs every time, and they sing all about this. So all over the North India, no, she's very famous
Mhm.
about these things.
Yeah, so what I found interesting in this paper, I read it nowhere else, and I didn't know also from. So what's said here that she very much from the beginning, as a little girl, young child, she constantly asked her mother to tell her the meaning of bridegroom. And her mother replied that every girl has a bridegroom. Mira then demanded to know who her bridegroom was. To escape her persistent questioning, Veer Kunvari, the mother, pointed to an image of Krishna, saying, "There's your bridegroom." And ever after, Mira considered herself wedded to Krishna. Right? And then in general, her family, they were Vaishnavas, you know, and so on. But yeah, so this part I didn't know before. So they're very interesting. Basically, her mother,
Mhm.
in one sense, then
Oh,
connected her. And so, yeah. Okay.
So good. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Krishna Prabhu. Before you go, what's the name of your good daughter?
Yeah, she, of course, we also called her Mirabai. Called her Mirabai.
Hare Krishna. Wonderful. Anyone else? Who is next now? Leo Prabhu, you ready?
Why not? Hare Krishna.
Ah, go ahead.
So,
Can you share? Are you able to share your screen?
so I have it on the cell phone, and the thing is, the Chromebook that I have, my daughter Maria, she kind of like
Can pull up.
got
If
this messed
tell
up.
me if
So,
you can pull up. I can pull up.
okay, so I guess I'll just state it,
Yeah.
and if you could do me a favor, I appreciate it, folks. So, yeah, with Maharaj Pariksha, there's so many layers, um,
Whom
when
are
it
you?
comes down to,
Dikshit Maharaj. Okay. Tell me. Where should we go?
um, so I guess just to go on to the actual point where he's about to get bit by the snake bird, tuk tuk the Tuksaka. So that would be Srimad Bhagavatam, 12th canto, chapter 5. And then I could pull up different references
So Srila Prabhupada
from
didn't
Prabhupada.
8 days.
All right, so I guess I'll just summarize that, and then
So the point is
s-
that we discussed that, and Srila Prabhupada instructed devotees to just do the translation. Actually, he told Pradyumna Prabhu to just do the translation. Um, so we just read the translation word to word and translation wherever needed, but not the purport.
yeah, yeah. So if you like, I could just summarize it, and then
Yeah, I mean, we can just,
because I do have a lecture that I found
yeah,
um
okay. Why don't
where he
we,
talks about.
yeah,
So the reference number for that or the lecture is in Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 16, verse 2 in Los Angeles, and the date is December 30th, 1973.
yeah,
Yes.
great.
Perfect. So it would just go down to where so so this is going more lower down. Um, so Pradumna Pandit, he's reciting verses, and then Prabhupada is just giving lecture. So I guess we could go by where after Pradumna's talking about his son, Maharaj Parisha's son, Janame,
Just,
Janamejaya. So it would be Prabhupada, and it was said, yes, Maharaj Parikshit was cursed by a Brahmin boy.
we are there. Yes.
Okay, perfect. So um, here he's he's just giving a great summary on Prabhupada
Yeah,
about.
read it. Yes.
Okay, so yes, you want me to read? Okay, Prabhupada saying, yes, Maharaj Pariksit was cursed by a Brahmin boy, not even 12 years old. When he heard this, his father was insulted. One morning, he was in meditation, and Maharaj Pariksit was in the forest hunting. So he was very much thirsty. So in those days, in the forest, there were many hermitage. Saintly persons, sages used to live. So he entered one of them and asked for water, but the Muni was great meditation. He could not hear him, receive the king. So he felt insulted that I asked water, this man is silent. So there was a dead snake. So out of anger, he took the dead snake round, wrapped him, and went away. So this news was spread, and his son was playing. As soon as he heard that my father has been insulted this way, he became very angry and cursed him immediately. this snake or snake would bite this king, and he will die out of snake bite. So then ag- then again he came to his father. He was crying to the father. At the time of meditation of the father was broken. Why, my son, you are crying, and you have been insulted by Maharaj Parikshit. I've cursed him like this. Oh, he became astonished. Oh, what have you done? Wrong thing. You have cursed Maharaj Parikshit. Oh, the greatest blame will be on the Brahmin society. The Kali Yuga will begins deterioration of the Brahmin community. You are the first. So this is that even a child born a Brahmin was so powerful that because he cursed Maharaj Parikshit to die out of snake bite, it could not be withdrawn. He died. Just see how much Brahminical power was that time. Even a child, what to speak of grown up. So in those days, as in the first verse, we learn Dvija Paraya Siksaya. The actual, the Brahmins, they were controlling the state, but not directly, not sitting on the throne, but not giving the kings good advice according to Shastra that you rule over like this. This is the process, and the kings would abide. Although the monarchy was there,
Let's go to where Parikshit Maharaj. You know.
yeah. So it goes down. So Maharaj Pariksha was also killed, but not for his fault. There was, of course, little fault that he took that is Krishna's arrangement. He was to go leave this world so that Bhagavat may be spoken and people would derive benefit of it. Otherwise, Maharaj Parikshit could retaliate. He was so powerful devotee, but he did not.
Mhm.
So go on reading. Praduna Pandit says, he performed a great sacrifice called Sarpa Yagna. This Sarpa Yagna, because of his father Maharaj Parikshit died of a snake bite, so he performed a yagna that all the snakes of the universe must die now. This was determination, so he was performing such yagna that snakes they were coming and falling on the fire. So there was such powerful mantras that one could do that. These were now forgotten. Nobody knows, nobody can believe, but it was possible by the Brahmins by chanting the Vedic mantra that they could do anything like they like. That was the Yagna performance going on to kill a race of serpents, including the tak, tak, Taksaka, which had been bidden his father to death. On request from many influential demigods and sages, he had to chant. He had to change his decision to kill the race of snakes. Yes, although he was determined to kill, so he was requested by demigods, saintly person, just for one snake's fault. That was also destined. You cannot kill all the species of snakes. And I guess I'll stop there. And also, from what I know, Tashaka, he received, I guess, benediction from Lord Indra. I think that he couldn't be killed. I believe Lord Brihaspati
Mhm.
informed Maharaj Parikshit's son in regards to that too. So another part, I guess, with this is that from my understanding, Maharaj Parikshit when he got cursed, he had the power to counter the curse as well. Um, so there was a part, and also Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto 18. I believe it's
Like
47.
Sir or Bhagavatam?
Srimad Bhagavatam, sorry, bro. Uh, first canto, chapter 18, verse 47. So from what I see here, yeah, so on the purport, he does state that it could be the next one.
The translation to no no what's
Yeah, sure. Um, Apapesu sva viritayasu balana pakva buddhina pam kirtam tat Bhagavan sarvatma ksna ksna ksnatum arhati. Synonyms:
That's the translation.
Apapesu, or just the translation. Then the rishi prayed to the all-pervading personality of Godhead to pardon his immature boy who had no intelligence and committed the great sin of cursing a person who was completely freed from all sins, who was subordinate, and who deserved to be protected. Purport by His Divine Grace. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. So here is everyone is responsible for his own actions, either pious or sinful. Rishi Samika could foresee that his son had committed a great sin by cursing Maharaj Parikshit, who deserved to be protected by the Brahmanas, for he was a pious ruler and completely free from all sins because of his being a first-class devotee of the Lord. When an offense is done unto the devotee of the Lord, it is very difficult to overcome the reaction. The Brahmanas, being at the head of the societal orders, are meant to give protection to the subordinates and not to curse them. There are occasions when fur- a Brahmana may furiously curse the subordinate Kshatriya, Vaishya, etc., but in the case of Maharaj Parikshit, there were no grounds, as already explained. The foolish boy has done it out of sheer vanity in being a Brahmana's son, and thus he became liable to be punished by the law of God. The Lord never forgives a person who condemns his pure devotee. Therefore, by cursing a king, the foolish Srini had committed not only a sin, but also the greatest offense. Therefore, the Rishi could foresee that only the Supreme Personality of Godhead could save this boy from his sinful act. He therefore for pardon from the Supreme Lord, who alone can undo a thing which is impossible to change. This appeal was made in the name of a foolish boy who had developed no intelligence at all. A question may be raised herein that since it was the desire of the Lord that Parikshit Maharaj be put in the awkward position so that he might be delivered from material existence, then why was a Brahmana's son made responsible for this offensive act? The answer is that the offensive act was performed by a child only so that he could be excused very easily, and thus the prayer of the father was accepted. But if the question is raised why the Brahmana community as a whole was made responsible for allowing Kali into the world affairs, the answer is given in the Varaha Purana that the demons who acted inimically towards the personality of Godhead killed, were not killed by the Lord, were allowed to take birth in the families of Brahmanas to take advantage of the age of I'm sorry. The all-merciful Lord gave them a chance to have their births in the families of pious Brahmanas so that they could progress towards salvation. But the demons, instead of utilizing the good opportunity, misused the Brahminical culture due to being puffed up by vanity and becoming Brahmanas. The typical example is the son of Samika Rishi, and all the foolish sons of Brahmanas are warned hereby not to become foolish as Shringi and be always on guard against the demonic qualities which they had in their previous birth. The foolish boy was, of course, excused by the Lord, but others who may not have a father like Samika Rishi will be put into great difficulty if they may use the advantages obtained by birth in a Brahmana family.
Wow. I don't remember ever reading this. Oof. Okay.
Yeah, that I
This.
guess that it has different layers of, I guess, connection to the topic.
Mhm.
Also the next one, the next verse as well,
It
um,
it is
will be
nice because
48.
you are showing that it was Maharaj Parikshit. Actually, he didn't really. It was not like he was kind of cursed and he was bitten by snake. All these things because he has a pure form. He can't be. But Krishna was desiring to have it like that.
I
All the
think also, even for him to be thirsty,
Right.
Like I think Prabhupada said something like that. That was all Krishna's arrangement because
Okay.
such an exalted devotee to just be tired and thirsty. I don't
Very
know. I
you
can't find that part. I don't know where it got lost in my tabs. I don't know where it is. So yeah, so the next one would be it would be the next verse. So it's the same, just verse 48, first
what?
canto, first canto, chapter 18, verse 48.
Okay.
Okay. Tiraskrita vipralabdha saptakishta hatapi nasyata prati kurvanti tarbhakta prabhavopi. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. The devotees of the Lord are so forbearing that even though they are defamed, cheated, cursed, disturbed, neglected, or even killed, they are never inclined to avenge themselves. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Rishi Shamika also knew that the Lord does not forgive a person who has committed an offense at the feet of a devotee. The Lord can only give direction to take shelter of the devotee. He thought within himself that if Maharaj Parikshit would counter-curse the boy, he might be saved. But he knew that if priya devotee is callous, I believe I'm pronouncing that, callous, about worldly advantages or reverses. As such, the devotees are never inclined to counteract personal defamation, curses, negligence, etc. as far as such things are concerned. In personal affairs, the devotees do not care for them, but in the case of their being performed against the Lord and his devotees, then the devotees take very strong action. It was a personal affair, and therefore Samika Rishi knew that the king would not take counteraction. Thus, there was no alternative than to place an appeal to the Lord for the immature boy. It is not that the only it is not that only the Brahmanas are powerful enough to award curses or blessings upon the subordinates. The devotee of the Lord, even though he may not be a Brahmana, he is more powerful than a Brahmana. But a powerful devotee never misuses the power for personal benefit. Whatever power the devotee may have is always utilized in the service towards the Lord and his devotees only. Um, so so yeah, it's Maharaj Parikshit could have done so much. He could have countered. I think also um, in this last Ekadashi, Papo, this is the last Ekadashi that we had. Um, from what I know, that it was a um, it was a curse by Sage Medavi towards beautiful Manju Gosha, and he cursed her because he interrupted his meditation. And then she replied, "O gentle lady, O blessed Brahmanas, please be merciful to me and revoke your curse, O great one. It is said that association with pure devotees gives it immediate results, but the curses take effect only after 7 days. I have been with you for 47 years, O Master, please be kind to me." So I don't know exactly the intensity or the level of the curse, but that was also into place, not so much of the counter curse, but also having that time frame. Um, so and also with Maharaj Parikshit, there was also a part. Pull that up. Where he was basically where he was receiving the actual curse itself, and so um going back to the I'm trying to remember right now. Going back to, I guess, where the everything here, um it was actually all planned from what I see since his birth. Prabhupada would talk about um, by his astrology, and Prabhupada was even talking about himself about crossing the ocean. So
This
um,
place which you were talking about, Prabhu, I'm sorry to interrupt. You remember you were saying about the thirst?
yes, that yeah, there's such a yeah, that's a part where I was just I can't comprehend that my condition state, but just like going through more and more of Maharaj Parikshit's life, I could definitely I've been given more self realizations. But
Please.
yeah, hello. Hare Krishna Prabhu, I'm sorry. For whatever reason, I guess I have bad
Oh,
connection.
are you able to see verse number 27 of the chapter, which you were talking about the thirst part? That's the verse.
Oh, yes, yes. Oh, you want me to read it? I'll read it. I'm sorry.
Great.
I'll read it for myself. So, translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Ki Jai. The sage in meditation was covered by the skin of a stag, and long compressed hair was scattered all over him. The king, whose palate was dry from thirst, asked him for water. Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The king, being thirsty, asked the sage for water. That such a great devotee and king asked for water from a sage absorbed in trance was certainly providential. Otherwise, there was no chance of such unique happening. Maharaj Parikshit was thus placed in an awkward position, so that gradually Srimad Bhagavatam could be revealed. So this is where everything stems and the origins of.
So the main reason of the whole pastime of Parikshit Maharaj, whole thing was this.
Yeah, so the conclusion would be that. Um, and so I do have, I guess, I don't know if I'm good on time, but I just wanted to share a couple thing about how this was already um, foretold, and I have here. Um, so I have a lecture on the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Um, I have the 20 Madhya Lila 20.125 to 136.
The lecture or the verse?
The lecture approaching.
Which one is this?
It's in New York,
Verse number 124 to 125?
125 to 136.
Which
So
date?
it says so everything was spoken that is described in the Srimad Bhagavatam.
Which date is it, Prabhu?
Oh, so for whatever reason I have here, I have like I think this is from the database. One sec. On Avani source. Okay, I got it. Um, this was in 1966 in New York. I think it's November 27th.
Okay.
So it goes down to the part where it says, so everything was spoken.
Yeah.
Yes. Everything, everything was spoken that is described in the Srimad Bhagavatam that this child would be like this, and it was foretold that at the last stage of his life he will be cursed by a Brahmin and he would die out of a snake bite. This child would die by snake bite. That was also foretold, and because the Brahmin cursed, a Brahmin boy cursed him, and within 7 days the king will die by snake bite. That's a long story. Um, therefore, therefore Maharaj Parikshit, he was not very old, but he understood that I will have to die by snake bite, so let me get freed from this royal responsibilities. He had once handed over his kingdom to his son and went to the bank of the Ganges and sat there tight without taking any food and drank for 7 days, and he heard Srimad Bhagavatam from the authoritative source of Shukadev Goswami, and he died at the end of 7 days. And a snake came and bit him. So these astrological calculations were then still there, just see. Um, so yeah, so this is something that that was actually in his astrological chart, and so I'm not sure how
Mhm.
much it was disclosed that they were knowledgeable about this.
I see.
So that's something that I didn't know. Just trying to really go more and more into the emphasis into his life on Maharaj Parikshit. Um, so I do have here another one where did you just want me to talk about the curses in general and with devotees and stuff like that, or did you I have another quote where Prabhupada was talking about the astrological part. Um, it's up to you if you want. Or did you want me to continue reading on that?
Let's go to the next topic, bro.
Sure.
Is there
So
any
did you?
other point related to this that, I mean, you have nicely covered the main point, which is that how this Parikshit Maharaj's whole past, it was a whole pastime. It was like the whole vein of the thinking was, can pure devotee's body, like Srila Prabhupada's, be contaminated by or affected by a cadmium kind of poison, and even dying, which we see from Mirabai and Parikshit Maharaj, that Mirabai didn't even get affected, and Parikshit Maharaj, the whole pastime was about Bhagavatam being revealed. And Lord had arranged. It was already foretold like that, that he will be utilized like that. So there is no question of thinking that pure devotee can ever be killed like that. Only Krishna arranges it, then he goes like that, right?
Yeah. So with Maharaj Pariksha, he accepted it with folded hands, um and so another thing is also um at which point did Maharaj Pariksha, did he have a spiritual body? I'm not too sure whether to go into that part. Um, so yeah, these are just little points, and
Mhm.
And so that's, I don't know if there's other points you wanted me to reflect upon, or we could stop here. If not, I have another one in regards to the
Maybe what
Esther.
we should do from next time, I should have been more proactively. This is all very wonderful, what you have explained and presented, Prabhu. It's glorious the way you have understood and then presented. Maybe what we could do for making it better and better and better is maybe one or two paragraphs showing the points, the main categories first, and then with all the categories going into Prabhupada's quotes, like that. So that we know why we are going there, like first getting an overview and then going into the hearing from Srila Prabhupada. Hearing Srila Prabhupada, as you can see, it's so purifying and it's like a mantra vibration, and which we need to remember and absorb apart from just hearing and purifying his statements, and he becomes present here in his words. So it is so gratifying, so pleasant, pleasurable, and to have him here with us in his Vani form. So our devotees, what I understand, our um, duty is to present Srila Prabhupada directly. One is a knowledge summary is great, because we are conveying what Srila Prabhupada is saying, but he himself is here too. So that's why I like hearing directly from him, like 90% of the time. Okay, so but we have to efficiently do it so that he's presented in a structured manner, and that's our duty to do it. So very good, Prabhu. Leo Prabhu, thank you. Much obeisances. Or
Thank you
any,
for the opportunity.
any good points are left over, like which you didn't cover?
It's just a lot of points, a lot of
So can you give us an overview of what is missing in this presentation till now?
yeah. So Maharaj Parikshit, um, when it comes down to just his life in general, um, and just tying up to the curse and the poison, um, he's been he's been always he's been always under the protection of the Lord, and whether it being him being cursed, that was definitely Krishna as well, as you stated, because of the Srimad, the outcome was the Srimad Bhagavatam. You could see more like as a benediction. So the benediction of Maharaj Parikshit being saved in the womb, um, from Ashwatthama, that was a benediction, as well as him being cursed and it being put into
Prabhu,
um,
is it possible? Is it possible? I can see you have many things which you have discovered, and I can see it will benefit us a lot if you. Is it possible you could compile them like in an article form, just focused on Maharaj Parikshit, and then categorizing different topics right in the overview, and then going in later and giving Srila Prabhupada's pertinent quotes and.
yeah, that's definitely not a problem. So yeah, I could definitely arrange that. Probably take me a week or so. But I could definitely arrange that.
Please try, and share with us. Please try and share with us and see.
Yeah, I know. I went over the much allotted time. My apologies to everyone else.
No, no, it's so good, Prabhu. Very, very good. Because there is so much Srila Prabhupada has said, it's not your fault. It is great. So maybe if you could compile it, and then we can in later on we can read and understand more in detail if whoever wants to. I would like to. Different nuances, different small points. Okay,
I would definitely do that service.
thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
And Somagiri Prabhu, would you like to present now?
Hare Krishna. Uh, yeah,
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Vaishnava.
Krishna. Oh. Yeah, my subject is Krishna, how he finished his pastime, but actually there are not too much from Srila Prabhupada. Somehow he did not mention this topic. So much details are not available, but in the Bhagavatam 11 canto 30 and 31 chapters, there is the description. And also, it is not Srila Prabhupada's own words, but there's and the other where he mentioned directly, this is in the Caitanya Charitamrita.
If you like, I can bring them up here if you give the verses.
The Caitanya Charitamrita or the
Yeah. Wherever you want me to go, you can guide me and I will go there.
okay. It's Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 23 and 117 and 118 in the purport.
We can read the translation, what Srila Prabhupada says.
Okay. Illusory stories opposite to the conclusion of Krishna consciousness concern the destruction of the Yadu dynasty, Krishna's disappearance. The story that Krishna and Balaram arise from a black hair and the white hair of Kshirodakashayi Vishnu, and the story about the kidnapping of the queens. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained to Sanatana Goswami the proper conclusions of these stories. In purport, due to envy, many Asuras describe Krishna to be I wasn't. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
To be like a black crow or an incarnation of a hare. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Sanatana Goswami how to counteract all these Asuric explanation of Krishna. The word Kaka means crow and Kesha means hare. The Asuras describe Krishna as an incarnation of a crow, an incarnation of a Shudra, blackish tribe, and an incarnation of a hare, not knowing that the word Kesha means Ka, Isha, and the Ka means Lord Balaram, and Isha means Lord. Thus, Krishna is the Lord of Lord Balaram.
Brahma.
Some of Lord,
Lord Brahma.
yeah, sorry, Lord Brahma. Some of Lord Krishna's pastimes are mentioned in the Mahabharata as Mausala Lila. This includes the stories of the destruction of the Yadu dynasty, Krishna's disappearance, his being pierced by a hunter's arrow, the story of Krishna as being an incarnation of a piece of hair, Keshava avatar, as well as Mahishi Harana, the kidnapping of Krishna's queens. Actually, these are not factual, but are related for a bewilderment of the Asuras who want to prove that Krishna is an ordinary human being. They are false in the sense that these pastimes are not eternal, nor are they transcendental or spiritual. There are many people who are by nature awares to the supremacy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. Such people are called Asuras. They have mistaken ideas about Krishna. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, the Asuras are given a chance to forget Krishna more and more, birth after birth. Thus they make their appearance in a family of Asuras and continue this process, being kept in bewilderment about Krishna. Asuras in the dress of sannyasis even explain Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam in different ways according to their own imaginations. Thus they continue to remain Asuras birth after birth. As far as Kesha incarnation of hair, is concerned, it is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam 2.7.26. The Vishnu Purana also states Ujaratmanaha Kesha Sita Krishna Mahabala. Similarly, in the Mahabharata, Sachapi Kesha Harir Uchakarta Ekam Shuklam Aparam Chapi Krishnam Tav Chapi Keshavav Ishatam Yadunam Kuli Shriyam Ruhinim Devakim Cha Tayor Eko Balabhadro Bapuva Yasau Sveta Tasya Devasya Keshava Krishno Divitya Keshava Sambhapuva Kesha Yasau Varnata Krishna Uktaha. Thus, in Srimad Bhagavatam, Vishnu Purana, and Mahabharata, there are references to Krishna and Balaram being incarnations of a black hair and a white hair. It is stated the Lord Vishnu snatched two hairs, one white and one black, from his head. These two hairs entered the wombs of Rohini and Devaki, members of the Yadu dynasty. Balaram was born from Rohini and Krishna was born of Devaki. Thus Balaram appeared from the first hair and Krishna appeared from the second hair. It was also foretold that all the Asuras who are enemies of the demigods would be cut down by Lord Vishnu by his white and black plenary explanations, and that the Supreme Personality of Godhead would appear and perform wonderful activities. In this connection, one should see Laghu Bhagavatamrita, the chapter called Krishnamrita, verses 156 to 164. Srila Rupa Goswami has refuted this argument about the hair incarnation, and his refutation is supported by Sri Baladev Vidyabhushana's commentaries. This matter is further discussed in the Krishna Sandarbha 29 and in the commentary known as Sarva Sambhavini by Srila Jiva Goswami. So actually here is just a small part of mentioning, but how Krishna finished his pastimes. More details are in the Bhagavatam 11 canto. I can read the verses.
Yeah, you can tell me where to go. Which verse is this?
11th canto and 13th chapter. Through the whole chapter. 30 and 31.
Okay.
I don't see the first.
It's I'm on the 30th chapter. Which verse?
The whole chapter is about this. How Krishna finished his first time in the earth.
Why don't we get to
Hmm?
where? Okay, you want to go through the whole thing? Okay, sure. Let's do that.
I don't know how many verses are there.
About 50 verses.
It's not too much, I think.
Okay.
Well, let's see.
It's good because in Chaitanya Bhagavat that we were reading, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati's commentary, there he covers this whole chapter, kind of the whole pastime of Yadavas leaving and Krishna leaving and Balaram leaving.
This chapter.
Yeah.
The
So
other book covers. So text 1. King Parikshit said, after the great devotee Uddhava left for the forest, What did the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the protector of all living beings, do in the city of Dwarka? After his own dynasty met destruction from the hordes of the Brahmanas, how could the best of the Yadus give up his body, the dearmost object of all eyes? Once their eyes were fixed upon his transcendental form, women were unable to withdraw them, and once that form had entered the ears of the sages and become fixed in their hearts, it would never depart. What to speak of acquiring fame, the great poets who describe the beauty of the Lord form would have their words invested with transcendentally pleasing attraction. And by seeing that from an Arjuna's chariot, all the warriors on the battlefield of Kurukshetra attained the liberation of gaining the spiritual body, similarly the Lord. Shukadev Goswami said, having observed many disturbing signs in the sky, on the earth, and in outer space, Lord Krishna addressed the Yadu dynasty assembled in the Sudan Council as follows. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O leaders of the Yadu dynasty, please note all these terrible omens that have appeared in Dwaraka just like a flax of death. We should not remain here a moment longer. The women, children, and old men should leave this city and go to Salkondarva. We shall go to Parabaskshetra, where the river Saraswati flows towards the west. There we should bath for purification, fast and fix our minds in meditation. We should then worship the demigods by bathing their images, anointing them with sandalwood pulp, and presenting them various offerings. After performing the expiatory rituals with the help of greatly fortunate Brahmanas, we will worship those Brahmanas by offering them cows, land, gold, clothing, elephants, horses, chariots, and dwelling place. This indeed the appropriate process for counteracting our imminent adversity, and it is sure to bring about the highest good fortune. Such worship of the demigods, Brahmanas, and cows can earn the highest birth of all living entities. Having heard these words from Lord Krishna, the enemy of Madhu, the elders of the Yadu dynasty gave their assent, saying, so be it. After crossing over the ocean in boat, they proceeded on chariots to Prabhasa. There, with great devotion, Yadavas performed the religious ceremonies according to the instruction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Personal Lord. They also performed various other auspicious rituals. Then, their intelligence covered by providence, they liberally indulged in drinking the sweet Maireya beverage, which can completely intoxicate the mind. The heroes of the Yadu dynasty become intoxicated from their extravagant drinking and began to feel arrogant. When they were thus bewildered by personal potency of Lord Krishna, a terrible quarrel arose among them. Infuriated, they seized,
Seized.
Seized their bows and arrows, swords, bhalas, clubs, lances, and spears, and attacked one another on the shore of the ocean. Riding on elephants and chariots with flags flying, and also on donkeys, camels, bulls, buffaloes, mules, and even human beings, the extreme arranged warriors came together and violently attacked one another with arrows, just as elephants in the forest attacks another with their tusks. Their mutual enemies arise. Pradyumna fought fiercely.
Fiercely.
fiercely. Against Samba, Akura against Kunti Bhoja, Aniruddha against Patyaki, Subhadra against Sangramaji, Sumitra against Suratha, and the two Gajas against each other. Others also, such as Nishata, Ulmuka, Sahajrijat, Satajit, and Bhanu, confronted and killed one another, being blinded by intoxication and thus completely bewildered by Lord Mukunda himself. Completely abounding their natural friendship, the members of the various Yadu clans, the Dasharas, Vrishnis, and the Andakas, the Bhojas, Sattvas, Madhus, and Arbudas, the Mathuras, Surasenas, Vishajanas, Kukuras, and Kuntis, all slaughtered one another. Thus bewildered son fought with fathers, with brothers, nephews, with paternal and maternal uncles, and grandsons with grandfathers. Friends fought with friends, and well-wishers with well-wishers. In this way, intimate friends and relatives are killed one another. When all their bows had broken, and their arrows and other missiles spent, they seized the tall stalks of cane with their bare hands. As soon as they took these cane stalks in their fist, the stalks changed into iron rods as hard as thunderbolts. With these weapons, the warriors began attacking one another again and again, and when Lord Krishna tried to stop them, they attacked him as well. In their confused state, O king, they also mistook Lord Balaram for an enemy. Weapons in hand, they ran towards him with the intention of killing him. O son of Kurus, Krishna and Balaram then become very angry. Picking up a cane stalk, they moved about within the battle and began to kill with these clubs. The violent anger of these warriors, who were overcome by the Brahmanas, cursed and bewildered by Lord Krishna's illusory potency, now led them to their annihilation, just as a fire that starts in a bamboo grove destroys the entire forest. When all the members of his own dynasty were thus destroyed, Lord Krishna thought to himself that at last the burden of the earth had been removed. Lord Balaram then sat down on the shore of the ocean and fixed himself in meditation upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Merging himself within himself, he gave up this mortal world. Lord Krishna, the son of Devaki, having seen the departure of Lord Ram, sat down silently on the ground under the nearby Pipala tree. The Lord was exhibiting his brilliantly effulgent forearms from the radiance of which, just like a smokeless fire, dissipated the darkness in all directions. His complexion was the color of the dark blue cloud, and his effulgence the color of molten gold, and his all auspicious from bore the mark of Srivastava. A beautiful smile graced his lotus face, locks of dark blue hair adorned his head. His lotus eyes were very attractive, and his shark-shaped earrings glittered. He wore a pair of silken garments and ornaments, but the secretary bracelets and arm ornaments, along with the helmet, the kaustubha jewel necklaces, anklets, and other royal emblems. And
Encircling.
hmm?
Encircling.
Encircling his body were flower garlands and his personal weapons in their embodied forms. As he sat, he held his left foot with the lotus red sole upon his right thigh. Just then the hunter named Jara who had approached the place, mistook a large food for a deer face. Thinking he had found his prey, Jara pierced the food with his arrow, which he had fashioned from the remaining iron fragment of Samba's club. Then, seeing that four-armed personality, the hunter became terrified of the offense he had committed, and he fell down, placing his head upon the feet of the enemy of the demons. Jara said, O Lord Madhusudana, I am a most sinful person. I have committed this act out of ignorance. O purest Lord, O Uttama Shloka, please forgive this sinner. O Lord Vishnu, the learned say that for any man constant remembers of you will destroy the darkness of ignorance. O Master, I have wronged you. Therefore, O Lord of Vaikuntha, please kill this sinful hunter of animals immediately, so he may not again commit such offenses against saintly persons. Neither Brahma nor his son, headed by Rudra, nor any of the great sages who are masters of the Vedic mantras can understand the function of your mystic power. Because your illusory potency has covered their sight, they remain ignorant of how your mystic power works. Therefore, what can I, such a low-born person, possibly say? The Supreme Personality of God has said, My dear Jara, do not fear. Please get up. What has been done is actually my own desire. With my permission, go now to the abode of the pious, the spiritual world. So, instructed by the Supreme Lord Krishna, who assumes his transcendental body by his own will, the hunter circumambulated the Lord 3 times and bowed down to him. Then the hunter departed in an airplane that had appeared just to carry him to the spiritual sky. At the time, Daruka was searching for his master, Krishna. As he neared the place where the Lord was sitting, he perceived the aroma of tulsi flowers in the breeze and went in its direction. Upon seeing Lord Krishna resting at the foot of a banyan tree, surrounded by his shining weapons, Daruka could not control the affection he felt in his heart. His eyes filled with tears, and he rushed down from the chariot and fell at the lotus feet. Daruka said, just as on a moonless night people are merged into the darkness and cannot find their way, now that I have lost sight of your lotus feet, my Lord, I have lost my vision and am wandering blindly in darkness. I cannot tell my direction, nor can I find any peace. Sukadeva Goswami continued. O foremost of King, while the chariot driver was still speaking before his very eyes, the Lord chariot rose up in the sky along with its horses and its flag, which was marked with the emblem of Garuda. All the divine weapons of Vishnu rose up and followed the chariot. The Lord Janardhan then spoke to his chariot driver, who was most astonished to see all this. Astonished. O driver, go to Dwaraka and tell our family members how their loved ones destroy one another. Also tell them of the disappearance of Lord Sankarshan and my present condition. You and your relatives should not remain in Dwaraka, the capital of the Yadus, because once I have abandoned the city, it will be inundated by the ocean. You should all take your own families together with my parents and under Arjuna's protection, go to Indraprastha. You, Daruka, should be firmly situated in devotion to me, remaining fixed in spiritual knowledge and unattached to material considerations. Understanding these pastimes to be a display of my illusory potency, you should remain peaceful. Thus ordered, Daruka circumambulated the Lord and offered obeisances to him again and again. He placed Lord Krishna's lotus feet upon his head and then with a sad heart went back to the city. Sukadeva Goswami said, then Lord Brahma arrived at Prabhasa along with Lord Shiva and his consort, the sages, the Prajapatis, and all the demigods headed by Indra. The forefathers, Siddhas, Gandharvas, Vidyadharas, and great serpents also came along with the Charanas, Yakshas, Rakshasas, Kinnaras, Apsaras, and relatives of Garuda, greatly eager to witness the departure of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As they were coming, all these personalities variously chanted and glorified the birth and activities of Lord Sauri Krishna. Sauri. O King, crowding the sky with their many airplanes, they showered down flowers with great devotion. Seeing before him Brahma, the grandfather of the universe, along with the other demigods who are all his personal and powerful expansions, the Almighty Lord closed his lotus eyes, fixing his mind within himself, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Without employing the mystic Agni meditation to burn up his transcendental body, which is the all-attractive resting place of all the words and the object of all contemplation and meditation, Lord Krishna entered into his own abode. As soon as Lord Shri Krishna left the earth, truth, religion, faithfulness, glory, and beauty immediately followed him. Kettler drums resounded in the heavens, and flowers showered from the sky. Most of the demigods and other higher beings led by Brahma could not see Lord Krishna as he was entering his own abode, since he did not reveal his movements. But some of them did catch sight of him, and they were extremely amazed. Just as ordinary men cannot ascertain the path of lightning bolt as it leaves a cloud, the demigods could not trace out of the movements of Lord Krishna as he returned to his abode. A few of the demigods, however, notably Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, could ascertain how the Lord's mystic power was working, and thus they become astonished. All the demigods praise to the Lord mystic power and then return to their own planets. My dear King, you should understand that the Supreme Lord's appearance and disappearance, which resemble those of embodied conditioned souls, are actually a show enacted by his illusory energy, just like the just like where is the just like the performance of an actor. After creating this universe, he enters into it, plays within it for some time, and at last brings it up. Then the Lord remains situated in his own transcendental glory, having case from the function of cosmic manifestation. Lord Krishna brought the son of his guru back from the planet of the Lord of Death in the boy's self-same body, and as the ultimate giver of protection. He saved you also when you were born by the Brahmastra of Ashwatthama. He conquered in battle even Lord Shiva, who deals death to the agents of death, and he sent the hunter Jara directly to Vaikuntha in his human body. How could such a personality be unable to protect his own self? Although Lord Krishna, being the possessor of infinite powers, is the only cause of the creation, maintenance, and destruction of innumerable living beings, he simply did not desire to keep his body in this world any longer. Thus, he revealed the destination of those fixed in the self and demonstrated that this mortal world is of no intrinsic value. Anyone who regularly rises early in the morning and carefully chants with devotion the glories of the Lord Sri Krishna's transcendental disappearance and his return to his own abode will certainly achieve that same supreme destination.
You want us to go anywhere else, Prabhu? Or you want to say something? Somebody else wants to say something?
I just wanted, and I was just wondering why there is no too much information from Prabhupada directly on lectures or here and there, and I just remember that I did not find. And someone asked from Prabhupada how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left this world and how was the deal. And Prabhupada told him this is another valuable topic amongst the devotees, and he just shortly mentioned Mahaprabhu just emerged the deity in Jagannath Puri. So maybe, this is my speculation only, maybe that's why Prabhupada did not talk about too much of this topic.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I say. I told you now. You didn't listen.
I see. That's interesting.
Yes.
Buddhists don't like to discuss this thing. It's very, very horrible. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm, 1 second. Huh? There was anything else remaining in it? This was it.
Just this was because no conversation or anything else from Prabhupada directly, so that's all. Or at least I did not find out. I tried, but
Okay. This is good.
not if anybody knows something, then would be great.
Anyone else has any points to make on these till now? Balram Prabhu, you had some nice points you were making. Can't hear you or see you.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Sorry, we're cutting the video and audio because we have internet limitation here is not so good. So excuse the lack of video. I'm here with Rasabihari Prabhu.
Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
So you were asking me to make a comment about what was read or separately what I wrote?
Till now, whatever you have read, any points related to that you have? Anything? Okay. Okay, then you can go to separate point then. No?
Well, actually, maybe we should leave this to the end when all the devotees have finished their presentation because it was a separate, let's say, separate topic.
So great. Anyone else has any top points to make? Hare Krishna. Okay, let's hear from Prabhu. That's his name unveiling ceremony today. Hare Krishna. who is going to present on Haridas Thakur and Lord Jesus.
This is documents. Okay.
Hari Bol. Okay. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Okay. No, he's Nimai Pandit Prabhu. Can you use that link to bring up the same? Because that's all. Unfortunately, he only had really 15, 20 minutes to prepare.
Yeah.
We got so entangled in conversation with another devotee today. So the same link that you sent us on WhatsApp about Haridas Thakur. Well, I found this too. It's really good. So, I don't know what's the source of this in Bhagavad Gita. It's coming to Archie.
Okay, we are here.
Which one
Would you like to read from, Prabhu?
Bro, can you give the link? Send me the link on WhatsApp. Or send it to me. I'll copy the link. Just 1 second, sorry, we're getting
Yes,
something
here, we
up.
are showing it here.
No, not that one. Because more or less all those quotes kind of said the same thing.
Yeah.
On WhatsApp. I'll just send it to you now. 1 second. 1 second. No, I'm doing. Paste it, bro. Just, yeah. Paste. So, Prabhuji, just sent you the link on WhatsApp. It's from ISKCON Desire Tree, but we're just going to read the quotes from Prabhupada.
Okay. We are here.
Yeah. Okay, he's got the same thing. You can read from him. No, we just want to scroll down a little. Can you hear him okay?
No,
Yeah, I was saying.
not at all.
Not at all. You can't hear him?
Now I can hear you.
How about me? Can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhu, now we can hear you.
Okay, great. So I'll start from Sri Haridas Thakur. Is an eternal liberated associate of the Lord. The associates of the Lord are worshipful. 1 second. Hare. What happened? No, keep on going. They can hear you. They can hear me, but I can't see anything. Okay. So we know we're in class here. What you doing? Of the Lord are worshipful wherever they make their appearance, just as Garuda appeared as a bird or Hanuman as a monkey. Haridas Thakur appeared in the family of Yavanas, the Mohammedans. From his very birth, he was very deeply devoted to the holy name Sri Krishna. 1 second. Yes, when he came to live by the banks of the Ganges, the Advaita Acharya was very happy to get his association. The Brahmana residents of Fulia were very pleased to see how he worshipped the holy name, and they used to come every day to have his darshan. Gradually, word began to spread of his glories. When Mohammedan administrator came to know of all this, he began to burn with malice and went to the local Mohammedan king to inform him. Though he is Mohammedan, he behaves as Hindu. Therefore, he should be brought here for trial. Hearing the words of that sinful man, the local king, who was very sinful, had Haridas Thakur brought there immediately. The Mohammedan king told Haridas, just give up this chanting and say the Kalma, the prayer of the Mohammedans. And Haridas Thakur replied, the Supreme Lord is one. Though his name might be different, the Hindu Shastras are the Puranas of the Muslim Shastra. The Hindu Shastra are the Puranas, and the Muslim Shastra is the Quran. Everyone acts as he is inspired by the Lord, as also do I. Some Yavanas become Hindus, and some Hindus become Yavanas. To worship the Lord, O Maharaja, you can now judge me.
Hearing these words, the Qazi replied that it would be necessary to punish him. Hearing the decree of the Qazi, the Mullah Pati addressed Haridasa, "My brother, just follow your own religion, then you will have nothing to worry about. Otherwise, you will have to be punished." In reply, to this, Haridasa Thakur explained, "Even if you cut my body into pieces, I will never give up the chanting of the Hari." After After hearing these words, the Haridasa spoken with great determination, the Qazi declared he should be beaten in 22 marketplaces. If he doesn't die after this, then I will know that the learned gentleman speaks the truth. Thus, having heard the words of the Qazi, the sinful Mullah Pati then ordered the Haridasa Thakur to be beaten in 22 marketplaces. Haridasa Thakur remembered the Lord by chanting Krishna, Krishna. And in the happiness of that remembrance, he didn't feel any bodily inconvenience. As the demonic associates of the Caitanya Kashipu tried in so many ways to kill Sri Prahlada Maharaja, but were unsuccessful. Similarly, the demonic Mohammedan, they tried to harm Haridasa Thakur, were unable to do so. Haridasa Thakur was immersed in the nectar of the name, and thus gradually the Mohammedans could not understand that he wasn't an ordinary person. Could understand that he wasn't an ordinary person. Thus they humbly submitted to the Thakur. Haridasa, we can understand that you are a genuinely saintly person. No one can do anything to you, but the Muluk Pati won't understand any of this. Rather, he will have our heads. Hearing their frightened pleas, Haridasa external consciousness ceased, and he entered into deep meditation of the Lord's holy name. This is Samadhi, yes. Then the Mohammedans carried his body on their shoulders to the Mulakpati, the Mulakpati who summarized or surmised, yes, that he was dead, thinking that, yes, thinking as such, he ordered that the body be thrown into the Ganga. Haridasa's body floated down the Ganga until he reached Fulya, where he got out of the water and began to loudly chant Harinama, Haribo. Seeing the greatness of the Haridasa Thakur, Mulakpati became fearful. Along with the other Mohammedans, he came there and begged Haridasa Thakur to forgive him for his offenses. Considering to be a holy man, they all offered this salutation, and thus were delivered from their offenses. Having witnessed the pastimes of the Thakur, the devotees were in ecstasy. Haridasa Thakur used to chant Harinama in a hollowed-out cave like a hole at the base of a tree. This cave still exists near Fulya, on the banks of the Ganga, and one can get there by train from Santipura. Within the roots of this tree also lived a poisonous snake. Being fearful of the snake, the devotees couldn't remain there for very long, which was worrying them. Seeing their distress, the devotees, Haridasa Thakur called out to the snake and spoke to him. "My dear sir, in this fact, if you are residing here, then I am requesting that you please leave by tomorrow. Otherwise, I myself will definitely leave you." Hearing these words, the snake, and these words of the snake immediately came out of its hole. And after offering a namaskar to Thakur, it went elsewhere. Seeing this pastime, the devotees were struck with wonder, and they developed profound and deep devotion for Haridasa Thakur. So all of this here just presents that being a Vaishnava and a true devotee of the Lord, he is constantly receiving the Lord's mercy, even when he's supposed to be murdered. He cannot be murdered. Even in the presence of a snake, an animal who is existing solely to protect itself and continue its own existence in the material, and it still abides by his words. Because it, just like us, has the Paramatma, and the Paramatma is always going to be merciful to a true devotee or a Vaishnava. So, he left, giving him the opportunity to spend more time with his devotees in the proper places. So, a portion of my presentation on Haridasa Thakur, I'll say this is where I'll finish and move over to Jesus till I see your phone.
What does Srila Prabhupada say about all this? You know,
An exact quote I do not have. Um,
about Haridas Thakur being beaten.
Didn't summarize the whole thing that you read. Remember all the text that you read?
yeah.
Give us some.
Well, in the general summary, he says what I just said now, basically, but I'll try to quote him. That that a true devotee will always receive the Lord's mercy, and
What does that mean?
receive the Lord's mercy. By this I mean, by this I mean exactly that they will always be protected, even in situations where they're meant to die. They will find a way to survive and continue preaching.
Here, there are very nice purports Srila Prabhupada is telling about this pastime.
When something is arranged by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one should not be disturbed by it, even if it appears to be a reverse according to the one's calculation. For example, sometimes we see that a powerful creature is killed, or sometimes he's put into difficulty, just as Haridas Thakur was. He was a great devotee who came into this material world to execute the will of the Lord by preaching the Lord's glories, but Haridasa was punished at the hands of the Kazi, being beaten by 22 marketplaces. Similarly, Lord Jesus Christ was crucified, and Prahlada Maharaja was put through so many tribulations. The Pandavas, who were direct friends of Krishna, lost their kingdom. Their wife was insulted, and they had to undergo many severe tribulations. Seeing all these reverses affect devotees, one should not be disturbed. One should simply understand that these matters there must be some plan of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Bhagavatam conclusion is that the devotee is never disturbed by such reverses. He accepts even reverse conditions as the grace of the Lord. One who continues to serve the Lord even in reverse conditions is assured that he will go back to Godhead, back to Vaikuntha planets. Lord Brahma assured the demigods that there was no use in talking about how the disturbing situation of darkness was taking place, since the actual fact was that it was ordered by the Supreme Lord. Brahma knew this because he was a great devotee, and it was possible for him to understand the plan of the Lord. Oh, and I read also that Haridas Thakur was an incarnation of Lord Brahma.
Can we interject with questions, or do we just wait to the end?
Just wanted to hear from Prabhu what Srila Prabhupada has said on this topic. Because pastime is one thing. It is nice we read about the pastime, but to really understand what Krishna actually was doing, why he was doing all this with Haridas Thakur is kind of, I think, more important, no?
Well, I mean, from what I've read, I could have the understanding that Krishna was using Haridas Thakur as an example, just as the way that the Kazi wanted to make an example of him, and in the opposite spectrum of saying that any Muslim who wants to go and convert over to the Hindus will be punished just as this. In 22 marketplaces, he will be beat and he will be killed. But Krishna wants to show that any devotee who is as devoted as Haridas Thakur was, no matter who his opposition is, will always be protected.
Right.
Huge job.
These are very nice points to read through. Okay, he's making some really nice points. This point, you're correct that one should be tolerant, and a devotee's thinking is like that. That is a thankless task. But also, he is also tolerant because they understand what the mission is. So Karunika and and uh, and Titikshvaka, Titikshvaka Karunika, Titikshvaka and Karunika. So when he was being poisoned, he was showing all these things, being tolerant and merciful simultaneously. Still.
Can we ask a question? Can we ask questions? You mind, Prabhu? So on this point, actually, raises some issues like how we see here, basically, what we read as a general is that the devotees are never touched. Pure devotees are never touched, never affected, and they don't retaliate. They don't have revengeful mood. So then there's a lot of us devotees who do have this, we're materially conditioned. We're not Prabhupada. We're conditioned souls trying to become pure. So we have this revengeful mood. We have this, we should retaliate kind of thing. So when our spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, tolerates and accommodates and just prays like Jesus Christ prayed that, Lord, don't punish them because they know not what they do. I'm absolutely convinced that Srila Prabhupada has the same mood. So then there we have a little bit of a problem. It's like, because we hear another side of this argument is that yes, the devotee should not fight for his own name, like to fight to clarify his name and being defamed or being attempted to be killed. He doesn't fight for it, but his disciples or other devotees should not tolerate that and should react with some force, let's say. But then we have, well, Srila Prabhupada is my spiritual master, and if he didn't retaliate against someone, and he's my acharya, he's the example. So then I should follow in the same line and tolerate them and pray for their wellness also, rather than take some kind of materially conditioned reaction, revenge.
Prabhu, what's Prabhu's name now? Rasa Leela Prabhu, huh?
No, Rasa Bihari.
Sabihari. Okay. Would you like to address this, Prabhu?
What you just said now. Well, your point was
Actually, not him, because he doesn't have this mood. He doesn't have this understanding, doesn't have this mood. But more I'm asking you, actually, as the the general mood and the general situation of the devotee world in general. Not just the Prabhupada Nugas, but ISKCON also.
I mean, devotees should be
Rasa,
tolerant.
Rasa Bihari Prabhu is kind of, let's say, newish. So in a newish mode, they have this wonderful quality where they see everybody as a devotee nicely and devoted and serving everyone. And he should keep that. He shouldn't get, as far as I'm concerned, he shouldn't get contaminated with this judging stuff. And he's a devotee, he's not, and he's doing this, he's doing that.
But that same mood is there in Bhagavad Gita also, no? 12th chapter, in all the last verses, Krishna is saying about how one should not see one actually he says, one who does not see friend and enemy is very dear to me.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I want him to keep this mood, but generally what I see around devotees, they have this mood at the beginning when they enter Krishna consciousness. Oh, everybody's a wonderful devotee, everybody's so. And then through association and situations, we pick up a lot of judgmental stuff. And he's a devotee, he's not a devotee, and he's doing nonsense, he's this. And as soon as we become like that, I see there's some drop in devotion and drop in enthusiasm and something.
It's because what happens, as I'm talking from my own experience, like what I went through. Like when we see devotee, we just see a black box. Anybody who is chanting, anybody who is a tilak, anybody who is wearing, everybody in the whole movement, everybody is a devotee. And when
Exactly.
Srila Prabhupada says devotee means such an exalted position, that is taken as, of course, we believe and accept Srila Prabhupada 100%. And so devotees understand this is, and this is it. But when you go, so what happens? Two things happen. One is if we continue hearing from Srila Prabhupada and
Are
not
we go? Or you're frozen. I don't know if it's from our
we
side or
if we continue hearing from Srila Prabhupada and not from others, then Srila Prabhupada starts explaining the different categories of devotees. All are exalted. Anyone who is chanting is still exalted and should be respected, like in Nectar of Instruction, fifth chapter, fifth verse. There are three kinds of devotees. But then there are gradations among them. And only for as far as our association, how much we associate them with them, not in terms of seeing them as friends or enemies. All of these gurus, people will criticize me for it, and devotees criticize. And I say these are all great devotees. All these gurus, all these things, because they're chanting Hare Krishna. Lord Chaitanya says so. Yeah.
yes. But
And
you
but
know,
I can
yeah.
1 minute. So due
Prabhuji, I don't know
yeah,
if you can
I have
hear us, but you're frozen. We
yeah.
can't hear.
We act as per our duty, even though we understand they are devotees, but externally in this world, if they act as an enemy of a pure devotee or against the sadhaka devotees, the servants of the pure devotee, then in a duty consciousness, whoever duty it is, then we have to take action, no? Like full on. Just like Srila Prabhupada explains that the Pandavas and the Kauravas, they were fighting, to death in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. But in the evening, they'll come and eat together and like commiserate together and all that. They had very friendly dealings. And then in the morning, 5 a.m., 6 a.m., they'd start fighting again to death. Really very, very like karmanne vadikaraste with full attention, not like laxing, oh, they are devotees, so, like this, like that, or they are my cousins, so I'll give them an easy. No, the full on attention, because this is from our body, we are doing our duty. So both have to, I mean, from hearing from Srila Prabhupada, we would need to learn like this to how to uh, have both the consciousness in our mindset while dealing with devotees who are acting in non-devotional way and opposite way. So we can't look at anybody, any soul as an enemy, what to speak of someone who is chanting Hare Krishna. But simultaneously, one can't become a Sahajiya also and say, "Oh, everything is okay. They are devotees." No, in this world, we have to act. We have to treat according to somebody is a killer, then we have to kill. I mean, in that sense, as if a Kshatriya is there and somebody comes to, like somebody is a soldier and coming to him or attacking something, then one has to fight and kill. No? Policeman, everybody is like that. No?
So how are disagreements settled amongst devotees?
We couldn't hear you, Prabhu. Yeah, can you say that again?
How are disagreements settled amongst devotees?
Same way, no? Because as soon as we get into mode of passion, then we lose sight of this understanding immediately. Like Krishna is saying, no, that when these devotees, when these because of these people who are looking at Krishna as a materialistic person and hair and black and all these things, then to bewilder them, Krishna also acts like that. So as soon as we get into mode of passion in anger, immediately Krishna takes away our intelligence and our seeing power, And then we go into, in the mode of passion, Krishna, in Bhagavad Gita, he explains that the seeing is in three modes. And in mode of goodness, one is seeing everyone as a spirit soul and with a body in a different mode. But in mode of passion, one sees the body. So then we don't distinguish, we can't distinguish between the devotee and the actions in the material world. And that's what happens. So we have to be, actually Krishna says in that 18th chapter that what is this? Lust, anger and greed, these are three gates to hell. And then we commit offenses. And that's where the whole problem happens. No? So that's why Srila Prabhupada just, even in disappearance pastime, he was talking about how it's so important to get up early, be in mode of goodness, to to uh, to act with devotees. No? Otherwise, so many offenses, so many things happen. You have to be so careful with devotees.
Well, can you hear me?
Now I
Okay.
can hear. Yeah.
Yes, okay. Yeah, so I mean, basically from what you're saying in the process of, or the hopes of following the instructions and to remain in the mode of goodness. It doesn't matter, what the take is of a devotee saying that, Srila Prabhupada is poison, those that are saying we should enact revenge, those who are saying that, things should be left as they are. All of it is indifferent to someone trying to clearly follow instructions and say, well, as long as they're all chanting and wearing their tilak, well, I'm happy for them in that sense, and anything beyond this is something I have to let go of.
So this, so we have to see, okay, a devotee did this to Srila Prabhupada, but he's a devotee. They are devotees. Maybe they are in the dress of a devotee. They are chanting Hare Krishna too. So they are one level of devotee. Now, but how do we act in this world? In our seeing power, we have to see and give respect to the soul. But in our duty in this world, first of all, Krishna has given that anybody who offends a devotee, one has to take action. Now, what kind of action? For a Brahmana, there is one action. For a Kshatriya, there is another action prescribed. And other devotees, other actions are prescribed. So when one hears a blasphemy against a devotee, one should leave if one is not a Kshatriya or a Brahmana. And if one is Kshatriya, then one should take physical action to either protect, or if not, then give punishment. And if one is a Brahmana, consciousness or that duty, then one has to argue using the words and intelligence. One should defeat and protect people with knowledge and preach about it. That this is like what we are discussing now is that Srila Prabhupada was actually not poisoned, cannot be poisoned. His spiritual form cannot be, but devotees need to be protected from this thinking which he displayed for the material by giving up showing his material form being poison, that it was not a material form which he left. I mean, he is not a material form. All this is knowledge based preaching and protecting devotees. So different actions are, let's say in Naveen Krishna Prabhu and a few other devotees are taking the legal action. They should do that because that's their duty to do. But while doing it, I know Naveen Krishna, he doesn't harbor anger towards devotees. He's not going into mode of passion, thinking I will make them, I'll break them, I'll revenge, all those things which are born out of mode of passion. Then one cannot see the devotee part.
Um, but in today's age, I can't differentiate myself from a Shudra, and the Satsuyas, I mean, at this point they're all gone. I mean, to my knowledge. So, and I don't know the situation of a Brahmin or a Brahmana. So, how how does one declare what the proper action is for themselves? Because I know there's some who are deeply angry still to this day. And what do they do with this emotion that arises within them? You know,
Yeah, could you repeat your last one or two sentences, Prabhu, please? Sorry.
what was the last that you heard me say?
In this
Let's
age, where is
continue. Some are deeply angry.
Brahmanas or
Yeah,
Kshatriyas?
Oh yes, well yes, and brahmanas are not as apparent. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so
Just 1 second, sorry, because we're in the hotel reception area for the internet. Okay.
well, it's just if the classes of us all of us devotees cannot be determined, and with the classes in proper places, it's easy to say this is my role and this is what I'm allowed to do. This is allotted to me. This is what I can. This is what I cannot do. But we no longer have this distinction. So what does one do with this anger if they have it? What does somebody who's in a mode of passion, who can't pull themselves out of this mode of passion, do with this emotion that they have?
So such a wonderful point you're making, Prabhu. We, all of us, it's not like you or anybody. We all are in that same position, and we struggle with it every single day. I know I struggle with it. Passion comes and anger comes, and all we are asked by Krishna, why he spoke the Bhagavad Gita, he knows that we will all go into this mode of passion, ignorance, everything. We all, conditioned souls are like that because the material energy is much more powerful than us, always. So, but why he's speaking Bhagavad Gita? Because he knows by remembering his instructions, even within, we will be able to remember those instructions even in our darkest modes of ignorance and passion too. And then those instructions, we can we can help, we can take shelter of those instructions and help pull us out of that. They are our guiding lights. Srila Prabhupada spoken also similarly. His instructions are equal, completely equal to Krishna's instructions. Same way, whatever he has spoken, and we can remember even in our darkest moments. And then they help us, bring us out. That picture is there, no, of Garuda picking up a fall, like Krishna coming on the Garuda and picking a person drowning in the ocean. Seen the picture, right, on Bhagavad Gita? Is a painting like that. So Krishna is coming in on top of the on Garuda, and somebody is drowning in the ocean, and he's coming and picking up. This is how it does with Bhagavad Gita, with the instructions. It picks us up. And if we take more and more, then we may not fall down so often if we keep on trying to remember them more and more. And that's why Shravanam is the first thing, because we keep hearing from Srila Prabhupada, and regularly Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Not only it is purifying the heart, but also this remembrance, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. This Smaranam would come, which is remembrance. By constantly hearing and chanting about it, remembrance could come in our darkest points. So it is not an excuse that we may not be able to, because Krishna knows it is possible. That even though we are in this situation, we should be able to remember. But we have to endeavor for it. Because we are punished if we don't also. If we go in the mode, let's say we are in the mode, actually, what I try to do is in the nights, I don't try to take any action, or I'm upset with something, I'm mode of passion upset, not duty upset. There's so much difference. Then I won't take any action. I try not to, because I know I will act wrongly, so better to keep silent in it and try to get the consciousness up and then act when completely in consciousness one is acting. So these, when this poison happened of Srila poisoning attempt and all these were happening, these devotees, whatever their mode of passion and anger and enviousness was coming to Srila Prabhupada, which is natural in a sense because we are like snakes in this world. But they should have taken hold of Srila Prabhupada and protect themselves. But they couldn't take shelter of those instructions, and that is what we can learn. To anger at sometimes Srila Prabhupada's statements can come. Why is he saying like that? Because sometimes so much attached we are, and then if that comes, then we have to, like, we can't let it go. Like, keep on thinking about it. We have to think about it. Try to submit to it. Try to I mean,
Nimai Prabhu, you're frozen if you can hear us. I don't know if you can hear us.
so we have to think of Srila Prabhupada's instructions, his pastimes, or whatever it takes to make ourselves again equipoised and free of envy, anger against Srila Prabhupada, and again submit to him. That is a constant process. You have to all the time be aware that that could happen anytime. It happened to devotees who were with Srila Prabhupada. So who are we? Anyway, there is much to be discussed with this disappearance pastime. And there's a great example for us not to ever fall in this. I just think of it that these devotees were kind of poor and unfortunate who landed up there and they couldn't control themselves being so near to Srila Prabhupada. And I don't know if I was there, what could have happened.
Really, I've been in a place of grief before, just because losing people, close to me, father figures and actual fathers and grandfathers. And I know, once you're in that mode of grief, there's kind of no chance of finding yourself in the goodness again. You have to deal in this ocean that you speak of that Krishna pulls you out of for a long time. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so you know, I mean, I really couldn't imagine how it would feel to be, a devotee or a disciple so close to Prabhupada and this time of disappearance. Haribol. America. Hare Krishna.
See you tomorrow.
So, I get what you're saying. I couldn't really imagine. I couldn't imagine this situation. But I mean, still, I think it's good that we brought up all of these disappearances today because there's a lot to learn from the mood that they were in their time of disappearances or punishments or crucifixion. These all of these examples we think of or bring up today, they all put themselves in a mode of an extreme mode of goodness where they're still being compassionate to those who are bringing harm to them. Just as Prabhupada would, say to the, devotee who poisoned him, I'm sorry that, we were brought to this point and that you couldn't receive the instructions or the teachings, so I think it's proper for us all to, take a foot in that or take a step in that direction. Of, compassionate consideration. So go ahead.
I mean, we can't become, I mean, sure that these devotees did this poisoning. I mean, becoming compassionate, we can respect that they are devotee, but being compassionate is a really, really high. I mean, we are told to actually, take action against them because they didn't do their own duty of protecting themselves from these lower modes and acted in such a manner. So, of course, one can be compassionate to see that we pray that Srila Prabhupada may forgive them, but we cannot forgive them. Because we are told not to do that. We are told to become actually upset and anger towards devotees who do anything to Srila Prabhupada and his mission and his devotees. And so each and
This,
because now also that whole consciousness is going on, not only about his form and his pastimes and his position as equal to God. People try to keep bringing down, but also changing his vani, distorting it in not only books wise but also his teachings also, which is every single thing is basically bringing something in the middle between Srila Prabhupada and a soul who really desperately needs it, like us, you know. So that obstruction we cannot tolerate at all, at all.
I think we must. In this moment, I think of the story of the two brothers. I forget their names.
Jagai Madai.
Jagai and Madai. When they attacked Nityananda, and Chaitanya was ready to kill them. But Nityananda says, no, there's still an opportunity to save their souls.
Okay,
Yeah.
let us see what other devotees feel
Okay.
about this very good discussion. Huh? Anyone?
I feel exactly the same way, but it's also 10 p.m. here and we have Mangalari at 4
Let's
o'clock.
see 10 minutes if you can, other devotees, and then we'll close it up. Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Anyone else?
Yeah, this has always been my big problem.
I know.
I tend to be sentimental, as people say to me. And it's like, for me, I look, Prabhupada is dealing with them like this. Prabhupada glorifying them so much. Prabhupada knew who was poisoning him or doing something, whatever they were doing. He knows everything. And still he didn't take any action. He just reacted to it. So for me personally, I kind of say, well, if my guru is behaving like that, then as a representative of him or trying to be a representative, I'm going to behave in a similar way. Try to. Anyway, sorry about that. Because you speak, these are strong words, what I see as aggressive words and strong words that we cannot tolerate, we must take action to do. But can you show me exactly directly where Srila Prabhupada states such a thing? I mean, specifically in his organization against his disciples. That's what I want to see or hear. Not examples, because examples in other situations, okay, that's other situations, but directly in his ISKCON and to his disciples, how we should behave. Do we have such
There are
a
so many examples.
direct quote, let's say?
As soon as the first four sannyasis, they created this whole controversy about Srila Prabhupada in 1970. They're so disrespectful, everything. He immediately he kicked them out of ISKCON. And really,
Sorry, I don't think he kicked them out of ISKCON. Can you tell us exactly what was done by Prabhupada?
they kicked them out of ISKCON. He says, you no longer, you cannot, and you just have to go out and preach. They were not, actually, he said, you have to, you are out. And
Can you share these quotes, please,
yeah, I will, I
from
can.
Prabhupada?
Then, and also same thing with Kirtanananda when he
Because,
came.
because as I've heard, he gave him a process of atonement, let's say. So he said, you can go, you can't stay in our temples, you can go preach, you can take the books, have the books from our centers. And he gave them, let's say, six, that's what I've been told, 6 months atonement process. And after that was completed, he took them back.
That's fine, but they were kicked out, no? Then there was a process of
But
atonement.
don't say like that, Prabhuji. Kick out is a strong word, and people are doing that. Let's not represent Prabhupada in our words.
But that is what actually happened, no? He was, because Garga Muni was the temple president in LA temple, and Brahmananda was the temple president of New York temple, the two biggest temples. And they were kicked out of that position, literally, no? They were told to leave. They were actually, they were all in New Vrindavan, when all these things were going on, and they were told to leave the festival. Literally, they were like pushed out because of Srila
Would you
Prabhupada
would
saying
you
all.
say that Prabhupada gave them a path of atonement? Would you say that?
After that, of course, simultaneously he is merciful. There is, because they are souls, definitely. But that doesn't mean that the other to protect the devotees, he would not take action.
Yeah, of course not. I'm not saying,
But there are other devotees
action is
also.
action.
They,
We're
they,
just talking
for
about
their
now
protect-
specifically what kind of action.
right. So first is, see, both the things are there. No? So devotees have to be protected also, no, against all this nonsense they were speaking. No? So he did that. He told them to leave. They were actually, they told them to leave when Vrindavan, this whole Janmashtami festival was going on. Srila Prabhupada didn't even bother coming for the Vyas Puja and Janmashtami because of all these things. Then he sent message to tell them to leave. So they were told to leave from the festival. And simultaneously, he removed them as temple presidents of the two biggest temples in the movement.
Were they already sannyasis at that point?
Then later on, yeah, I think he tried to give them some because of all these things going on in LA. I'm a little confused with the timeline, but they were, I think they were newly given sannyas and all this, but this was a whole thing he did to remove them from the whole association of devotees.
Sorry, just to be clear. They were sannyasis already as
I
TPs or he
don't
made them
remember
sannyas?
no. I don't remember the exact, but the whole timeline, which I can refresh my memory about after we get off. But it was, as I understand it, after reading so many of his letters, while at those during those times, he is basically kicking them out of the movement. He says these are like barking dogs or something like that. Even he used these words. you know, these people cannot. I will look into this, but his mood was very very upset with them, and to remove them from the devotee association first. Then he worked on them. Then he brought them in. Both of, because he's compassionate for both. No, the devotees also have to be protected. No, so he has to show example also that this cannot be tolerated. Because so many new devotees, so many, like, such a small faith is there among devotees, and one is going kind of, oh, you are okay, you are okay, then all the other faiths are being trampled upon. That cannot be done. No? That is never done in our whole scriptures. You can see it's not done like that, bro. Even Kirtanananda, when he came back and he started saying all these things, Prabhupada totally no more association with him. He told associate with them.
Actually, this could be a very nice, if we're still continuing with the poison issue and how it affects transcendental body Brahman. Okay, continue. But a step on from this one would be very nice to see and hear and go into like research detail as you're doing with this topic, is how did Srila Prabhupada deal with, how can I say, averse actions of his own disciples and devotees? Because really that's very important for us to kind of teach us how we should, or how do we deal with such a situation in Prabhupada's movement by his own disciples. That would be nice.
So, because I have been going through this whole fighting with the GBCs for all these years, so I had to study this. What is Srila Prabhupada's mood? What does he want to do? Everything. What I have been understanding, what I've been following is what through Srila Prabhupada's eyes only, seeing how Krishna acted in in his whole pastime. Directly one can see.
Yeah,
And
so let's
Krishna,
study all that together, like you're doing now with this topic.
Arjuna pastime is there, and then Putna pastime is there. And I take guidance from those pastimes, how Srila Prabhupada also acts, that Krishna took away, he did two things with the Putna pastime. Because she was coming and giving milk, so the soul he delivered and made her a mother. But because she was also trying to give poison, and that was an inimical activity, so on the body level, he killed the body so that she cannot do any more of this nonsense activity to others. But the soul, he took the essence out of it because she was giving milk, and then he gave her promotion to the spiritual world. So, and to the to and same thing carried on with Indra also. He was a devotee, but Bhagavatam writes specifically, even though he was a devotee, he was acting like a demon. So Krishna really smashed his whole thing, and he actually thought there is one. I think in Nectar of Devotion, he thought he's such a small person. What will punishment do to him? you know it's like that. So but he smashed it, and he came and surrendered, and he did both of these things. He protected the devotees in Vrindavan while simultaneously smashing his pride, and then making him surrender.
What do you think? Can we do this specifically
And
with
Arjuna
Srila
also,
Prabhupada dealing with disciples?
yeah, Arjuna
Like,
also, same thing he did. He asked him to, even Bhishma Dev, pure devotee, he asked him to fight and kill him because they acted as Asat
I think
Sabha.
you're not answering my question. Can we do this? Like, today you set up last week that devotees study, research, and present. That we do this with how Prabhupada dealt with his. I mean, there's this. What's his name? Siddhaloka Siddha. That one for me is specifically interesting and important. Siddha Sarup. These ones who said that Prabhupada is the speaker of um, Gita, that he's God. I'm sure that child abuse may have been going on in Prabhupada's time. He knew it, so I want to learn how he dealt with that. Sexual abuse, blah, 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 how Prabhupada dealt with that. As a pure devotee, or as a guru, a bona fide guru, how he dealt with that. Can we do that?
Yeah, great. Why don't you direct? It will be very good. Why don't you come
No,
up?
no, no. You can direct it.
Oh, you are good. What you are doing is really good. So you are pointing out. So why don't you list all these instances, just
No,
like
no.
I
The
did?
whole Guru Tattva is your topic. You can do it.
Oh, I mean, it's not my topic, Prabhu. This is all in the Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, every blade. No, how you have the same birthright on that.
Everybody's nicely inspired by you. And
You
just like today and last week, you
you'll
gave us
listen to
this.
this, what you are
You
saying.
can do the same.
No, you'll be very nice. You are very nicely. You're bringing up the topic. You tell different devotees, okay, this topic you prepare, and let's share. No, it's nice. Please do it. Very nice you are doing. These are all great pastimes you brought up, and it will definitely help all of us to read and hear and understand. Hmm? You are stationary now, no, in Vrindavan next 1 week. Bhajan.
Dictionary doesn't exist amongst us. No, no chance with stationery.
Why don't you make a list of the pastimes which you would like to discuss?
Well, I mean, rather make a list. Anyway, first of all, is actually, because everything's taking really long. So I don't know how much more weeks we will spend on, and we should spend more. I really love this topic because it's really specifically focusing on Prabhupada as to what is the nature of Srila Prabhupada as a spiritual entity, and this distinction that we have, some people think is material, some people don't know he's spiritual, is really, really, is like fundamental to understanding Prabhupada and his guru position. So let us roll with that. I'm just, it came me now, like, okay, when this is over, maybe the next step we can take onto this is how Srila Prabhupada dealt with averse disciples or averse situations within his own movement. So, you just follow your timeline right now, and then we see when that point comes where we're finishing off this topic, and then we can
Yeah,
slide into
according to what we are, I thought what we are planning, what we are trying to do is in the Guru Tattva, we went through 134, 135 of Adi Leela. 135 was talking about Bhagavad Vidhi. Immediately
Something wrong.
Prabhuji, I don't know if you can hear us.
yeah,
We are
I could hear.
frozen.
So Bhagavata Vidhi was being described. So we went into the different pastimes of Bhagavata Vidhi. What we understood from Bhagavata Vidhi is first to take shelter of a pure devotee. So we looked at taking shelter of the pure devotee from nectar of devotion, which talked about four ways of taking shelter Guru Ashraya. One of them was to think of him as good as God and having full faith in him. Otherwise, imports of the Veda are not revealed. So that's what we are trying to do, because the first aspect itself, Maya Devi and Kali Yuga has been in Kali has been breaking for devotees. We are not able to fully take shelter of Srila Prabhupada because we don't accept him as equal to God in all in to our level, not creative power and everything, but in the teaching power and bhakti power, is the same Shakti. He is Krishna. Krishna Shakti is there with him. So that aspect is what we are discussing now, because of all these things which have been brought up in the moment. So which is good. We can do this. His different pastimes which make us think, not, confusion and doubts come. So on the poison thing, I think next week we have a few more, because devotees were in flux. So we can talk little bit more. If there are devotees, then um, it may take the whole time.
No
It,
problem, no problem. I'm perfectly fine with that. And
and the
also we have a
next week
problem
after
because
that, the
we're in
next,
India and it's 10:15 p.m. already now. So the class is really
let us go.
taking too long.
Let us finish this now. Okay. We can do it next week, Prabhu.
Yeah, yeah.
On the finish the
Yeah,
poison.
no rush, no rush at all. I love this topic, and I love from the beginning that we said we're going to make it very comprehensive, going in every nook and cranny. It's just idea that came to me now. So I'm just putting it out there, sharing it. That when the time is right, maybe we can do that. Maybe.
Very good. I would love to. This is my favorite thing to do, is trying to understand Srila Prabhupada. Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Rasa Vihari Prabhu. Wonderful, wonderful devotee. Where are you from in the US, Prabhu?
California, Riverside.
See. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
You devotee.
Vanchaka Bhuveshcha Kripa Sindhu Devacha Patitanam Bhadamebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Prabhupada ki. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, Prabhu. Pancha Prabhu. Next week.
Oh, yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Sure. Okay. Thank you, Leo Prabhu. You, Christoph Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Sarita Mataji.
No, Prabhu. Jagal Prabhu.